Hey everyone, how's it going? Cell here. This video is going to be a little bit different. Figured I'd just do a kind of live stream, but I'm not live streaming type of get up here. Some live commentary, just me doing some maps. In particular, I'm going to be looking at some Scarab farming with operative Strongboxes. So yeah, here's my atlas if you're curious about that. I'm basically trying to force Beyond into everything I can because I really want volatile Vol Orbs. It's one of the things I feel like most excited about in terms of the current patch, just because one, it gives you a reason to farm Beyond, which historically, at least recently, has not been super great. And two, it's just interesting having another means of doing something to your unique items other than double corrupting them at the temple. So yeah, I've either hard or soft deleted a bunch of uniques that way this league, and am probably gonna do it some more. So I'm trying to get more Vol Orbs. What am I sitting at here? 2 at the moment. I might try to farm a guys and get another one of those so I can double or volatile Vol Orb it. Almost said double corrupt. Yeah, also going to take a look at my Scarabs here. Going to mute the audio here so I can take a screenshot without it making a loud noise. And yeah, that'll be our starting point for however many maps I end up getting through here. As far as I've done so far, the strategy just self-sustain, 3 ambush Scarabs, a potency, and a discernment. And again, as far as I can tell, these increased Scarab nodes should not affect the operative Strongboxes at all, because this should only affect the weight of Scarabs as a drop and like overall. And since everything that drops from an operative's Strongbox is a Scarab, the weights on Scarabs overall don't matter, just the individual Scarabs. And so to that end, I'm blocking everything but Breach, because I'm primarily running Breach like everybody else. It's been a blast, and I'm taking a 100% increased chance to be ambush. And also the rarity, less common Scarabs are more common. I guess node, that's a weird way to phrase that. Yep, I'm running a bunch of 8-mod corrupted maps because why not? Extra quantity for... I'm assuming that works on the boxes. I don't think it works quite to the extent that it does on enemies based on what I recall them saying in the past. And again, 3 ambush Scarabs, 1 potency, and a discernment. Not using the reopening one because the regular ambush Scarab is worth more boxes per map, and we don't have a problem sustaining them. So let's get into it. My gold is empty. It's not going to be crazy gold, but it is going to be pretty decent. And yeah, I'm horrible at talking and doing literally anything else, so we'll see how this ends up going. Like, I don't have audio feedback or anything right now, but I still kind of have that effect happening where it's weird hearing my own voice as I speak. We got a gold wish, which is pretty good right off the bat here. Sorry about the notification beep, that was mine. And yeah, obviously just made a video on this build. I've gotten quite a few upgrades since then, and it is absolutely ridiculous. A lot of that, of course, is going to be the fact that Minion Pact is utterly insane right now. But a big part of that is also Beano's. The 3-meter poison prolif range is absolutely amazing. It feels, I wouldn't say unlike anything else, it feels like Barracks Respite. You played an Ignite build with Barracks Respite. How it ignites nearby enemies when something dies with an Ignite. Like, it inflicts the same magnitude of Ignite on them. Also, I've got so much loot here, I can't pick up everything. Just sacrifice fragments, I guess. yeah, it's just, it'll clear. This map is a good showcase for it. This is the first one I ran when I got the Vinos, or made it, I guess. And it is kind of weird. It feels like the prolif literally goes through the walls. And I don't know if that's just my perception of it or if it's actually like that. But like something would be in this room, let's say, and I'd kill something here, and there's nothing between them, and the things in this room die. Not really sure why that is. I think that's about it for this map. Or this, Mirage? I guess we could technically dip after we do the Mirage, but I'm gonna still do the remainder of the map because it's relatively quick, I suppose, and I don't know, it's decent XP. It's hard to get bad XP on this build, I've realized. I'm level 98 in like record time for myself. Haven't really been dying much, presumably because things die 3 screens away, so it doesn't really get a chance to kill me. Yeah, like the build is decently defensive, but it's obviously not base tank Ubers or anything like that. No, what are we looking at? Defiance of Destiny either, because 1, I don't have it. 2, I'm using a Diamond Belt. So I'm using Marlene's Fallacy as a huge portion of my damage. Great when you get a box in by the boss here, because the Poison Prolif kills the boss immediately, because you put like 100 poisons on it from the other enemies. Yeah, there's a bunch of crap back here I didn't loot. Might need to update my filter in the middle of this video, by the way. Just on the basis of the fact that there's still a bunch of crap on screen and I just updated it before I started the video. Yeah, I guess I might make a quick note here, pause recording, and think about hiding some of the divination cards, especially. Those are the main culprits at this point. Most of the currency I've well hidden at this point, the lower tier stuff, and everything else is for the most part hidden. I'm not dropping a lot of uniques during this strategy, but I am still showing a lot of uniques on my filter, just for fun, I guess. I like to see how many uniques are dropping at a time from a given strategy, even if it's not going to be super great. I should probably do this slightly differently. Yeah. So I'm not flashing. I have a keybind for control click. Okay, that's not working properly. I open boxes or puzzle boxes as I get them, usually. So Black Zenith. That one's pretty good actually, and Worm's Molt. Well, it would be good to get. I didn't read the mods on the map. Yeah, I'm definitely over looting for the stage of the game that I'm at. Like, I think even 3/4 of what I'm picking up should probably be hidden, Scarabs included. Ones that I'm not gonna ever use, for example. Oh yeah, like all of this stuff has got to go. I'll be right back. Alright, I found out what it was. I didn't check the setting and filter blade for stacked low value cards, which I always forget to do when I update my filter because I end up starting low strictness and cranking it up over time. And I always forget that they have a separate set of logic for stacked low tier divination cards, which is like the only time I end up seeing them because you get stacks of them from boxes and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully it's not updated yet, but when I reload it here, whenever I end up doing that, I will see less junk on the floor. I mean, like, alchemies I could probably get rid of. I think I have a full stack of them already. Yeah, I am showing corrupted jewels because with all of the Beyond I've been doing, I've gotten a decent number of Tainted Mythic Orbs. which are a pretty decent way to get unique jewels just in general by using the lag. By using a Tainted Mythic Orb on a Corrupted Jewel. It's, as far as I know, about a 1 in 12 to turn it into a unique jewel. Might be slightly worse than that at this point. I don't know how up-to-date the info is. Can we not get a box? Or can we get boxes that don't resurrect everything? Lag is real. Yeah, so from what I know, about a 1 in 12 to Mythic Orb a jewel into a unique jewel. So what you can do is... Will this load? There we go. Much nicer. Whoops, my stacks fell off. Oh, you go in the Mirage? Sure, more currency. So what you can do is you can add corrupted jewels to your filter. Corrupted with an implicit, specifically. And this is this league because we have opalescent strongboxes. And you'll find fairly regularly, especially running strongboxes specifically, you'll find corrupted jewels with corrupted blood immunity or reservation efficiency, etc. And you can go ahead and pick those up and Mythic Orb them, and you'll get like an Ancestral Vision with corrupted blood immunity, which is pretty good. So that's kind of the plan. I've only used like 10 so far, and no hits, but purely right around the corner. Also, what a first showcase to start out with, right? Like, you do not need a good build necessarily to do strongbox farming, but here I am. But that's kind of, you know, where the Scarabs are coming from at the moment, and I need more Breach Scarabs, so Corrupted Blood. Just picking these up as I do them, so I don't have to explicitly come farm for them later. I probably should hide corrupted unique jewels, but I'm a little worried that I'm going to miss an actual jewel if I do that. There's probably some rule you can set up. I've just never had to do that because I've never had this many unique jewels dropping as a result of the strong boxes. Yeah, could be something I look into, I guess. Or maybe it's just worth the potential loss, like really off chance that you miss an actual jewel, just so that the screen isn't cluttered every time you open a box. I don't know. I feel like my efficiency is probably dropping here as a result of my commentary, but keeping it going. Yeah. Wow, that was a big symbol for a stack of 3 Sulfite Scarabs. I find myself using more of the guarantee Scarabs, or the content guarantee Scarabs, for content that you can get 100% in, like, I don't know, Beyond and Bestiary and things like that, because one, I've been switching strategies a lot as a result of the league mechanic incentivizing so many different other leagues, and 2, wanting to fit in as many different leagues. Like I said, I've been really cramming Beyond into everywhere it makes sense, and so sometimes I don't really have points for much else. Or I guess a better, potentially better example of that would be I would like grease back into Harvest to do something for a little bit, or to get a little bit of juice, but I didn't want to give up everything else I was doing entirely, so I ended up using the Harvest Scarab to fill out the rest of my Harvest chance, which was fine because you don't need that many Scarabs for Harvest anyways. Most important part is that you're just using Scarabs for the map modifier effect bonus, guess maybe I should have taken the XP from that. I'm kind of worried about getting level 100. Worried about, meaning actively going for. Or I guess I'm not really actively going for it because I'm not doing an XP farm, but I am hoping to get 100 by just doing random stuff like this. Again, I haven't really been dying all that much. Only a handful of deaths across the character other than to Ice Nova boxes. No, other than to Uber Exarch, who, by the way, is horrendous. Full stop, but also on this build in particular, not exactly the most defensively oriented build. And the little ghost of your Spectre that's following me around right now still has collision with the Exarch balls, which I knew before I started the build, but had forgotten. So I went in, and lo and behold, it was horrible. Can't survive Exarch balls, unfortunately. I guess I could probably get to a point where I did, but not really all that concerned about it, if I'm being honest. So, I mean, the kill was fine. Like, the Uber bosses die in 10 seconds or whatever, so not really a huge deal to take a death on the way there and get him on your second portal.
Make your wish.
On that. Ooh. I've never had this one. So I'm gonna go in right now, I guess. Yeah. If my inventory is like mostly full, I definitely dip out and deposit it because it's gonna fill up in here. Almost certainly, depending on the amount of strong boxes there are. But yeah, sometimes I just don't want to bother, I suppose. And most importantly, I have a habit of clicking the Mirage, getting it started, then going in. I'm gonna die. Okay. Then going in and forgetting that there's a reward after the Mirage is finished, and then I don't click the reward. I've lost at least a handful of nameless years that way. It's probably the most significant thing. It hasn't been like anything too major, I would say, but minor thing. You start to remember it after a little bit. And of course, you have to actually find the chain, which is half the battle here. It's probably in with the boss. I feel like that happens a lot. Not the most shield charge friendly map either. Yep, here they are. Oh, get away from that. It's a huge AoE map. 163%. See what we got. That one's horrible. The Spectre Jewel. What does it do? Give them Soul Eater for like 20 seconds or something? Temporary Soul Eater, everybody's favorite thing. I mean, I guess it's not the worst in some scenarios, but... Did we get 0 operative boxes this time? I think we did. It's unfortunate, but we're on our way.
You live to fight another day.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned this in my last video, but if you're curious about why I made an assassin on this, one, I just... character name says it all. I wanted to make the best build currently with the worst class, arguably. I guess Warden is also down there, and maybe Saboteur. Ancient Orbs. I need to spam my Ancient Orbs on something I have 120-ish, probably. I haven't really had an idea of what to use them on because I've got all the uniques I need for my builds, for the most part, and other builds that I have yet to play. And I don't really want a Mageblood. Kind of made this a non-Mageblood league by adding all these cool belts. So yeah, I don't know, maybe there's some other tier 0 I get an interest in and want to try to go for. You get Ancient Orb Jewels, obviously that would be probably my go-to overall, because they're all rare and most of them are bad. So it'd be nice to reroll in some good ones.
Greeting.
Yep, what else do I pick up? Pick up a decent amount of unique still. Like Ventors. I don't know, it's just a thing I've always done. Picked up Ventors gambles and such. I remember during Affliction League, I must have picked up several tabs, maybe even a couple quad tabs with the Ventors gambles. Because that's the kind of league it was.
You've done well.
That was fun. I don't think I ever identified them. I think I have a couple tabs still in standard of unidentified Ventors gamble. What was this one? This one was money again. So this the volatile gold, is that what they're called? The volatile things that float around when you kill stuff that have a ton of gold in them. Like I'm starting at 250k gold-ish, and it's gonna be ridiculous by the end here. Any sort of high enemy count content, you just get flooded with gold. Breach, Beyond, Strongboxes, what's the word? Breach? No, already said breach. Blight is good for it as well. High enemy count content. There's an operative box. Oh, there's a breach in here. I guess I might as well do that so we can get showered in money. It's kind of annoying when you get a breach just randomly in the Mirage, because it feels like in the Mirage the bar progresses less. I don't know if there are just fewer enemies that spawn because we're in the Mirage, or maybe it's just because that only happens to me in maps I wouldn't normally run breach in, because whenever I intentionally get a breach, it's in a good map for it. Not sure. This one's Opalescent is openable again. Oh boy. What is going on here? There's something there that I can't even see anymore. See, I haven't had a lot of difficulty with this build that I feel like a lot of other people have had, because for better or worse, I guess better in this case, I have gotten into the habit of using my skill as a stop key, like a stop moving key. So basically anytime I'm trying to stop my character from moving, I press Q, which is always where my main skill is. Is it even worth looking at these? Probably not, but here we are. Oh, it's an ancient womb gift. Okay. Yeah, so I just use my main skill as a stop key, which is probably a bad habit because you don't need to do that. It literally just takes more time, the vast majority of situations. But it's working to my benefit here because now I'm playing a build that if you don't do that, it gets kind of annoying. Okay, look at that, we lived. You get a lot of rare Scarabs from this. Maybe that's just because of the ridiculous Scarab quantity in general. But for a time being, I was getting like one or more rare Scarabs per map. One map I got a stack of 3 Risk Scarabs, which I didn't realize could happen after they made them more rare. I figured they were in the tier that could only drop one. But apparently not. So that was, I guess, kind of nice. I wasn't planning on using them and probably still won't. I don't think I want to put together a build that's risk-proof, I suppose. I don't think this build is all that much. And I don't currently have any other builds planned. Not to say I won't play another build, but probably see something or get a drop that inspires me to try something new. Or I might do a fresh start kind of scenario. I've been thinking about doing some kind of either league start testing or 0 to hero type videos just to try things out myself and for the content, of course. Yet here I am doing what I do best, making a ramble video instead as I try to loot some strong boxes here. You'll notice I deposit stuff much more slowly than everybody else on the planet. I don't have a scroll wheel set up. I feel like that would only, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong if you use one in the comments. I feel like that would only work with a scroll wheel you can unlock, you know, so it spins without you moving it, I guess. I hope you know what I mean. I'm getting mind flooded here. Yeah, just I guess a freeform scroll wheel, or one that can be that way. Because I feel like if you have to actually move your finger to scroll with it, that defeats half the purpose for me. But maybe it still feels better to do that, and I guess explain what I'm talking about a little more. People will bind their scroll wheel up or down to left click, so that every time it picks the scroll, it clicks, and therefore you can use that to deposit things into your stash real quick. Yeah, I've just never done that. It's probably better for your hands, especially if you can get a freeform one. Although my scroll wheel doesn't do that, and I don't think it would be good for my hands to use the scroll wheel that much, as odd as that might sound. I tend to offload as much as I can onto my healthier hand, which is my left hand. So I try to avoid, like, I don't click anything in game with my right hand. I don't use the standard left and right mouse buttons essentially at all. I have a split keyboard which has 8 looking down here thumb keys, and I use those, or several of those, as my left click on my PoE setup. And I have a right click elsewhere, but I don't use right click for PoE really, so that kind of never gets used. But I have some more specific key bindings like control click, things like that. Control click is on my S key. Just kind of what I landed on, what felt most comfortable, and a huge part of the reason that WASD doesn't feel all that good. Because I'm so used to that kind of setup after years of playing PoE like that. Man, I just had a thought, and now I have lost it. Oh, yeah, that I, for the most part, double divine, nice. For the most part, the only thing I do with my right hand when I'm playing PoE, and most games in general, is move the cursor, whatever that might entail. Like, I'm playing a first-person RPG, it's my camera, and that's all my right hand is doing. If I'm playing PoE, I'm getting my cursor around for movement, but I'm doing the actual movement with my left thumb. So, yeah. Divine Orbs, that's pretty nice. I am short on Divine Orbs. I just blew a bunch of mine crafting. By a bunch, I mean almost all of them. I think I had one left. And I didn't finish. I'm too lazy to farm beasts, which is why I blew my Divines on trying to craft these gloves. One hit tier 1 life. There's probably a better way to do it. You could probably pretty easily hit triple tier 1 resistance using the breach tree, but I did not go that way. I used a pair of fractured gloves and essence spammed them until I had 2, and then decided to finish the prefixes. It's probably just cheaper, easier, maybe even faster to use the breach tree for like that whole process. Because really, I just want triple tier 1 res and as high a tier of life as I can get. And man, it is really unresponsive for some reason. That's kind of like the triple tier 1, or maybe not triple tier 1 specifically, but triple resistance life gear is kind of what the tree excels at, right? The problem is I know now that I could settle on a lower tier of resistance, like across the board. But I didn't know that at the time I was crafting them. Because of how my setup is, I thought I was going to be a lot tighter on resistances than I was. And also my ring here has 45 lightning res, the one that's getting mirrored, which solves a lightning resistance problem that I thought I was going to have. So I didn't end up needing, I would say, like an entire resist on my gloves. So actually, oh great, my thing fell off. I gotta leave and come back. My Blade Vortex stacks fell off and I'm dealing no damage. So yeah, I guess I could probably just recraft my gloves. I could go for a pair of Delve +2 minion gloves, since my minions are already socketed in my gloves, and I could move them if they weren't, of course, but really can't be bothered to Delve. Gotta be some of my least favorite content. I couldn't tell you why. I've never really enjoyed it, I guess. Because it's like, oh, I could sit here and say, oh, like, Delve, it's just doing the same thing over and over. That's not very fun. As I'm running the same map 100 times. You know, like, obviously I don't have a problem with that specifically. Just couldn't tell you what it is exactly that makes me not enjoy Delve. I just don't. But hey, maybe it's time to give it another shake. I haven't done Delve in ages, and actually I liked Delve League a lot. It was one of my favorite leagues at the time. They did some kind of rework to Guardian, that league. But they've reworked Guardian like 4 times since then, so I don't remember which iteration of Guardian that was in actuality. Yeah, if you're listening still at this point in the video, how long have you been playing? I've been playing since the first temporary league, Anarchy. Always been a softcore player. No, I've played every league to some extent. There have been a couple that I only got to maps, but for the most part I've been pretty heavily involved in endgame after my first few leagues of getting used to it. When I first played PoE, actually, I was looking for just, I don't know, a good general RPG to play long term, and I liked some of their original design, like the lack of gold and their reasoning behind it, really intrigued me. And the whole currency system, like everything should intrinsically have value. We shouldn't have like an arbitrary gold that does a bunch of different stuff. So yeah, obviously much different now, but still playing. And what I was gonna say, I played through the game. I was not familiar with action RPGs in general or the Act system or anything like that. The fact that there were multiple difficulties in the game and that you played them successively. So I got to the end of Act 3, which is right after Piety. And I was getting ready to climb the Tower of God, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm getting more into this. And you step through the doors to the Tower of God, which were different back then because there were no preceding zones to it. And then I go through the door, loading screen, wake up on the beach, and I was like, what is this? I have to do all this again? I said, this game sucks. I logged out, I uninstalled it, and came back 4 months later to play it again. Yeah, so I think that story is a good stopping point for this video. Running along, give my voice a little break. Over half an hour of just chill. Strongbox mapping. Those maps took me forever, by the way. I only ran 5. Oh well. Just kind of, again, chill background noise for your enjoyment of playing PoE, or just you want to see what the build looks like. If you watch any amount of this video, thank you for doing so. If you want to see more of these videos, let me know and I'll post this in a comment for people that didn't make it this far either. And yeah, or let me know what you think about the 0 to hero type stuff in solo self-found or a solo self-found type setting. And I'll see what I can cook up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.